You know, John, listening to some of your stories, it really brought back some just great memories, and especially for those of us who appreciate the rich history of bodybuilding, you're sort of the embodiment of that. You're also the embodiment of the natural bodybuilding movement. You are one of the faces of that sort of subsection, that corner of the industry. A lot of things have happened over the last couple of years that have sort of pulled the attention away from the big guys, starting with the under 212 division. You know, starting with the men's physique division, starting with the new classic physique division. There's just so many things that it almost seems like we're talking more about that stuff than we are the big guys.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are still excited about those days of bodybuilding, the 70s and 80s, and they like that look. And I think this classic physique division might bring some of that back, you know, because they're going to be looking for that V taper, you know, the classic type of physique. And also there's going to be an emphasis on posing. And I think that's going to be exciting because now guys are starting to get into that classical type of posing. They're going to look at guys like Frank Zane and Lee Labrada and Bob Paris and try and emulate some of those poses. And I think that's going to bring a lot of bit of the artistic flair back to bodybuilding, which bodybuilding is a sport and an art. And hopefully that's going to bring back some of that art form back to bodybuilding.
There's no question the classic physique division, it will showcase the art form of bodybuilding. But I want to stay with you just for one more second. Let's talk about the actual physique. Those people out there who are contemplating the new division, what are you expecting the trend to be from a physique standpoint? Kind of put it into perspective for those people who are just being introduced to this new division.
Well, I think they're going to be looking for sort of the old school type of physique with the wide shoulders, a smaller waist, more of an emphasis on symmetry and proportion, which is, again, how it used to be back in the old days. They're going to be looking for that old school type of physique, and I think there's going to be more of an emphasis on that instead of just muscle mass and just conditioning. They're going to bring back more of the symmetry, hopefully more of the symmetry and the shape aspect of it, and that's the way, you know, bodybuilding used to be an emphasis on that. When you had guys like Frank Zane and Mohammed McAway winning pro shows, those guys were not big guys, but they placed an emphasis more on the symmetry, and you were a smaller guy could be allowed to win a show back then. It wasn't all about how big they were and how ripped they were.
Mel, speaking of big, you know, you're a guy who has been around this sport for a long time, and you've really gotten a chance to got to know a lot of the legendary, you know, big physiques over the years. When you see the trend and when you see the direction, you know, I know Jim Mannion and the NPC and Steve Weinberger, they work real hard to create divisions really for all shapes and sizes, for all types of physiques. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. But what do we need to do to get in a little more life injected in the big men's open division?
Well, I think